Peter Jackson is one of my favorite directors working today. He made Lord of the Rings, my favorite movies of all time, my favorite movie trilogy. Nothing else even comes close to touching Lord of the Rings for me. So because of that, Peter Jackson has an honorary spot in my top list of directors. You know, as far as some of his films go, I'm not that big of a fan on some of his films, but as a director, as a filmmaker, he is one of my biggest inspirations of all time. I absolutely love Peter Jackson and everything that he's done for cinema. And if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend going to check out They Shall Not Grow Old. It was a World War I documentary that he did last year. I highly recommend it. It is an incredible experience, and it really gives you a really impactful look at World War I and what World War I was all about. But he apparently was offered to direct Aquaman, the movie that James Wan directed for Warner Brothers, and honestly, it doesn't surprise me that he turned this down, and I will go ahead and get into that a little bit more later on in this article. So let's go ahead and take a look at this article, and then we can talk about it as we do that. So Peter Jackson turned down Aquaman. Next film won't happen for another year or two. Let's see here. It's been almost 5 years since Peter Jackson last directed a narrative feature. That would be The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, which I wasn't really a big fan of, but that wasn't necessarily Peter Jackson's fault. Warner Brothers kind of destroyed the Hobbit trilogy in a lot of ways, so I'm not going to put all the blame on Peter Jackson for that. They talk about They Shall Not Grow Old, which I highly recommend. It was his World War I movie that just came out last year. Let's see. The director also revealed to Empire that former Warner Brothers I got the hiccups. Let's see. Warner Brothers CEO Kevin Tsuchihara contacted him twice to direct the DC Extended Universe tentpole Aquaman. James Wan ended up handling directing duties on the movie, which starred Jason Momoa in the leading role and grossed over $1 billion at the worldwide box office. Kevin said, "Are you a fan of Aquaman?" I said, "No," Jackson said. 6 months later, "Peter, are you a fan of Aquaman?" I said, "No, Kevin, I already told you this. I am not a superhero guy. I read Tintin. I read Tintin. Look, films are hard. I only want to make something that I have a deep passion for. I don't really anticipate making another theatrical film for a year or two." So I kind of understand what he's saying here. And I actually knew that he wasn't a big superhero guy. I believe it was... Who was it? Was it John Campea? It was somebody who was talking about Peter Jackson possibly directing a DC movie, and it was actually someone on Collider. I remember someone on Collider was talking about Peter Jackson possibly directing a DC movie, and he was talking about what that would look like and stuff, and I was just like, he's not going to direct a superhero movie. I can tell you this already. I mean, this was almost a year ago now, I think, at least, and I was like, Peter Jackson is not going to direct a superhero movie. He does not like superheroes. He's not into comic books at all. He's not into comic book movies. He is, that's just not what Peter Jackson is about. He literally has zero interest in superheroes, which is fine. And because of that, Peter Jackson isn't even really into like magic. He's definitely not into like superpower type of stuff. But because of that, it's totally fine, and you know, I could have told you that already, that there's no way he was going to direct Aquaman. But I kind of appreciate what he says here when he says, "Look, films are hard. I only want to direct something that I have a deep passion for," which is good. I think that that's something that all filmmakers should aspire to be like. They shouldn't just make something for the sake of the money or anything like that. I know that it's also their job and stuff, but at the same time, they really, especially when you're a filmmaker on Peter Jackson's level, you really need to take the time to figure out what you want to make, what you have the passion to make. And because of that, I really do appreciate him taking the time to kind of figure out exactly what he wants to do. It sounds like it's going to be a little while before we see the next Peter Jackson film coming out, which is totally fine. I just wanted to take his time and create something that will truly be inspiring, truly amazing, and I can't wait to see what that will be from Peter Jackson. Yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know about this. He was offered Aquaman to direct Aquaman, and as interesting as that would be to see what Peter Jackson would do with an Aquaman movie, it doesn't surprise me at all that he refused to make the movie. Doesn't surprise me in the least bit. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this brief video, and I'll talk to you all very soon in another video. Talk to you later. Bye.